Order number 2, communication from the chair.
No communication from the chair at the moment. However, majority leader and member for Kaibaga proceed and table the order paper.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to table the following notice paper running from 10th to 11th March 2026. And today being a Tuesday, 10th March 2026 at 9:30 a.m., we have the following business. Honorable Speaker, we have a report of the following papers: report of Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of Auditor General on Engineer Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025. The sponsor being the Honorable Chair Duncan Gedeji, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. The said chair will also be tabling the report on County Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of Auditor General on JM Kariuki Memorial Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025. He will also be tabling the following paper: County Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of Auditor General on Nyandarua County Executive, that is State and Public Officer car loan and mortgage scheme filed for the year ended 30 June 2025. It's also tabling report of Office of Auditor General on Nyandarua climate change filed for the year ended 30 June 2025. On notices of motion, we'll be having a notice of motion on report of Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of the Auditor General on Engineer Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30 June 2025, being moved or issued by Honorable Duncan Gedeji Shege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. We'll also be getting another notice of motion from the said chair, that is report of the Office of the Auditor General on JM Kariuki Hospital for the year ended 30 June 2025. It's also be getting a notice of motion from the said chair on Office of the Auditor General, the Nyandarua County Executive State and Public Officer car loan and mortgage scheme for the year ended 30 June 2025. We'll also be getting another motion, notice of motion on Nyandarua climate change filed for the year ended 30 June 2025. Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another notice of motion on report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts on Nyandarua County's Executive, that is State and Public Officers car loan and mortgage scheme annual report and financial statements for the year for the financial year ended 30 June 2025, sponsored by Peter Deji Keriga, the Chairperson Committee on Special Funds Account. Honorable Speaker, on motions and bills, this morning we'll be getting a motion on the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua climate change filed for year ended 30 June, which will be a procedural and substantive motion being moved by Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. We'll also be getting another motion on report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of the Auditor General on the Nyandarua County Executive, that is State and Public Officers car loan and mortgage scheme, filed for the year ended 30th June 2025, which will be a procedural and substantive motion being moved by Duncan Gedeji, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts. Today at afternoon hours, being a Tuesday, at 2:30 p.m., Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting the following business. We'll be having the following papers will be to be tabled. That is report on the committee on arts, physical planning, housing and urban development, on Orkarau, Engineer Mairunya Municipality Solid Waste Management Policies and Plans, sponsored by John Duogashino, Chairperson, Committee on Arts, Physical Planning and Housing. We'll also be getting another paper which will be tabled by the said chair. That is a report on the Committee on Arts, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development on Orkarau, Engineer and Mairunya Municipal Risk Management Policies and Frames. Honorable Speaker, we have a number of papers that will be tabled by the said chair. That is Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Asset Management Policies and Asset Register and Maintenance Plan. We'll also be getting another report which will be tabled. That is Housing and Urban Development on Orkarau Engineer Municipalities Urban Climate Risk Profiles. We'll also be getting, the said chair will also be tabling physical planning, housing and urban development on private sector engagement framework and municipal private sector diagnostic tools. We'll also be tabling Orkarau Municipality IDEP, that is 2026 to 2031, and Engineer Municipality IDEP 2025 to 2030. We'll also be tabling Orkarau and Engineer Municipality pre-feasibility studies and municipal investments plan. We'll also be tabling Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipalities grievances and redress mechanisms system. We'll also be tabling Orkarau Engineer Mairunya gender inclusion and participation framework. He will also be tabling the report of Committee on Arts, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development on issue for Engineer Municipality. And lastly, we'll also be getting, he'll be tabling Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipalities Urban Area Funding Criteria. On notices of motion, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting notice of motion on report of the Committee on Arts, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development on Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Solid Waste Management Policies and Solid Waste Management Plans, sponsored by John Duogashino, Chairperson, Committee on Arts. We'll also be getting another notice of motion on the Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Risk Management Policies from the said chair. Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting Orkarau notices of motion on Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Risk Management Policies by the said chair. Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting Orkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Asset Management Policies and Asset Register and Maintenance Plans from the said chair. We will also be getting a notice of motion on report of the Committee on Arts on Orkarau Engineer Municipality Urban Climate Risk Profiles. And Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting another notice of motion on private sector engagement framework and municipal private sector diagnostic tools. Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting from the said chair a notice of motion on Orkarau Municipality IDEP 2026-2031 and Engineer Municipality IDEP 2025 to 2030. Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting another notice of motion on Orkalau Engineer Municipality feasibility studies and municipal investment plans from the said chair. We'll also be getting, Honorable Speaker, another notice of motion on Orkalau Engineer Maironya Municipality grievances and redress mechanism systems. Honorable Speaker, we will also be getting another notice of motion on Orkalau Engineer Maironya Municipality Gender Inclusion and Participation Framework. And we'll also be getting another motion from the said chair on how on ISDUP for Engineer Municipality. And lastly, we'll be getting another notice of motion from the said chair on Orkalau Engineer Maironya Municipality Urban Area Funding Criteria. Honorable Speaker, on motions and bills, we'll be getting the following motion, that is a motion on report of Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Engineer Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30 June. That will be the procedural and substantive motion being sponsored by Honorable Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. We'll also be getting another motion on report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of the Office of Auditor General on JM Karaoke Memorial Hospital for the year ended 30 June, that which will be the procedural and substantive motion being moved by Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on Public Accounts. Honorable Speaker, tomorrow being a Wednesday at 9:30 a.m., we'll be having the following businesses. Honorable Speaker, we'll start with the following papers, that is report on the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of the Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua County Bursary Fund for the year ended 30 June 2025, sponsored by Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts. On notices of motion, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting a notice of motion on report of Committee on County Public Accounts Investment Committee on report of the Office of Auditor General on Nyandarua County Bursary Fund for the year ended 30 June, sponsor being Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts. Honorable Speaker, on motions and bills, we'll be having motion on report of Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua County Bursary Fund for the year ended 30 June 2025, which will be a procedural and substantive motion being sponsored by Duncan Gedeji Chege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts. We'll also be getting another motion, Honorable Speaker, motion on the report of Committee of Roads, Physical Planning, Housing, Urban Development, and on Orkalau Municipality and Maironya Municipality Solid Waste Management Policies and Solid Waste Management Plans, sponsor being John Duogashino, Chairperson Committee on LAD. From the said chair, we'll be getting another motion on report of Committee of Rats on Orkalau Engineer Maironya Municipalities Lease Management Policy sponsored by John Duogashino. We'll also be getting another motion on report of the Committee on Arts on Orkalau Engineer Maironya Municipality Asset Management Policies, Asset Register and Maintenance Plans from the said chair. We'll also be getting another motion on Orkalau Engineer Municipality Urban Risk Profiles from the said chair. Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another motion on private sector engagement framework and municipal private sector diagnostic tools from the said chair. We'll also be getting another motion on Orkalau Municipality IDEP 2026-2031 and Engineer Municipality IDEP 2025 to 2030 from the said chair. We'll also, Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another motion on report on urban development on Olkarau and Engineer Municipality pre-feasibility studies and municipal plans from the said chair. We'll also be getting, Honorable Speaker, another motion on Olkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipalities, municipal grievances and redress mechanisms system from the said chair. We'll also be getting another motion on Olkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Gender Inclusion and Participation Framework from the said chair. Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another motion on ISDU for Engineer Municipality from the said chair. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, we'll also be getting another motion on Olkarau Engineer Mairunya Municipality Urban Area Funding Criteria from the said chair. Tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, at 2:30 p.m., that is the afternoon hours, we'll be having the following business. We'll be having the following business. Honorable Speaker, on papers, we'll be getting the report on the committee on budget and appropriation on Nyandarua County fiscal strategy paper for financial year 2026-2027, Nyandarua County Government medium-term debt management strategy paper 2026, and the memorandum of county fiscal strategy paper for financial year 2026-2027, and medium-term budget sponsored by Honorable Isaac Kungu Wajiro, Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriation Committee. On notices of motion, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting another motion, notice of motion on report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation on Nyandarua County Fiscal Strategy Paper for financial year 2026-2027, Nyandarua County Government Medium-Term Debt Strategy Paper 2026, and the Memorandum on County Fiscal Strategy Paper for financial year 2026 to 2027, and medium-term budget sponsored by Honorable Isaac Kungu Wajiro, Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriation. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, this will be the last business slotted for tomorrow. We'll be getting a motion on the report of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation on Nyandarua County Fiscal Strategy Paper for financial year 2026-2027, Nyandarua County Government Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy Paper 2026, and the Memorandum on County Fiscal Strategy Paper for financial year 2026 and medium-term budget, which will be the procedural and substantive motion, which will be sponsored by Isaac Kungu, Chairperson Committee on Budget and Appropriation Committee. Honorable Speaker, this paper is prepared and published pursuant to Standing Order 40 and 41. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I hereby table the said notice paper.
The notice paper is duly tabled. Clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have 4 papers to be laid by Honorable Duncan Githenji-Chege, the Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments.
Honorable Duncan Githenji-Chege, Chairperson, Committee on Public Accounts and Investments, and member for and member for Gatimu. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I wish to table the following report That's on report of the Committee on County Public Account and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of Auditor General on the Engineer Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025. Push to table.
The report is duly tabled. The same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee pursuant to Standing Order 157-5D. Clerk, next order. Okay. Honorable Duncan Githichege, Chairperson Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. Proceed and table all the other papers because directions are the same. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to table the following report. Report of the Committee on County Public Account and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of Auditor General on the JM Kariuki Memorial Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025. Still, Mr. Speaker, I would like to table the following report of the Office of the Auditor General on the Nyandarua County Executive, State and Public Officers, Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025. Still, Mr. Speaker, I still have another report of the Office of the Auditor General on the Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th.
Doing our best.
The reports are duly tabled. Pursuant to Standing Order 157-5D. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have several notices to be given by Honorable Duncan Githichege, Chairperson, Committee County Public Accounts and Investments.
Honorable Duncan Githichege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give the notice of the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Engineer Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025 as the report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of the House. Still, Mr. Speaker, I would like to give the following motion that the House does adopt the report of the Committee on the County Public Account Investment Committee on the report of Office of the Auditor General on the JM Memorial Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as a resolution of the House. Still, Mr. Speaker, that this House does adopt the report of Committee on County Public and Accounts and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua County Executive, State and Public Officers, Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House, recommendation therein as a resolution of the House. Still, Mr. Speaker, that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on the Public and Accounting Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 25 as the report of the House and for the recommendation therein as a resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The notices of motion are duly tabled and shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee pursuant to Standing Order 157-5D. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Under the same order, we have a notice to be given by Honorable Peter Denji Kiriga, the Chairperson, Committee on Special Funds Accounts.
Honorable Peter Denji Kiriga, Chairperson, Committee on Special Funds Accounts. Honorable Joyce Munywa, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I beg to give notice of the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on Special Funds Accounts on the Nyandarua County Executive, State and Public Officers Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Annual Report and Financial Statement for the financial year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as a resolution of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, pursuant to Standing Order 157.5D. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, order number 7, statements. Order number 8, motions and bills. We have a procedural motion to be moved by Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments.
Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion that pursuant to Standing Order 236, the motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Account and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of the House be exempted from the requirement of the Standing Order 50 that requires a notice of motion to be given at least one day before the motion appear on the order paper. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I ask Honorable Agishoki to second.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Proceed, Honorable Mwangi Gishuki, Minority Reader and Member for Engineer. Proceed.
I second.
The motion is duly moved and seconded. I propose the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 236, the motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on the Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House be exempted from the requirements of the Standing Order 55B that requires a notice of motion be given at least one day before the motion appears on the order paper. I now put the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 236, the motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on the Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House be exempted from the requirements of the Standing Order 55B that requires a notice of motion be given at least one day before the motion appears on the order paper. May those of similar opinion say aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay, and the ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Mr. Speaker, sir, still under the same order, you have a substantive motion to be moved by Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments.
Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on Public Accounts and Investments. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Account and Investment Committee on the report of the Office of the Auditor General on Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the house and accommodation therein as a resolution of the house. Mr. Speaker, I think I'll start with the committee's introduction, Mr. Speaker, on committee's background. Mr. Speaker, the County Public and Investment Committee is a select committee established under the Standing Order number 190 of Nyandarua County Assembly Standing Order, that the committee is mandated to examine the account showing appropriation of funds voted by the Assembly to meet the public expenditures, and examine report of the Auditor General on the county government entities. The committee also examined whether the public resources have been utilized in accordance with the rule and whether the public entities are managed in accordance with the sound financial and commercial practices. In this exercise of its mandate, the committee review report of the Auditor General and make recommendation the recommendation to the Assembly on the measures necessary to improve the accountability and financial management within the county government institution. Mandate of the committee: 1. Examine the account showing appropriation of fund voted by the Assembly. 2. Examine report and account of county public investment. 3. Examine report of the Auditor General on county entities. 4. Assess whether the public institution operate in accordance with the sound financial management principles. Mr. Speaker, the committee reviewed the Auditor General report on Nyandarua County Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 25. The accounting officer from the Department of Water, Sanitation, Tourism, Environment, Natural Resources and Climate Change was requested to provide a written response to the auditor's queries. The committee considered the written response and supporting the documentation submitted by the department. Where necessary, the accounting officer, relevant officers were invited to appear before the committee to provide clarification and further information on the issues in the audit report. Where necessary, the account officer and relevant officers were invited to appear before the committee to provide the clarification, further information on the issues in the audit report. After reviewing the submission and evidence provided, the committee compiled this report outlining its observation and recommendation. Background to the Auditor General's report on the FROCA Fund. The financing, Mr. Speaker, the financing Rockery Red Climate Action FROCA program is a national initiative supported by the development partner and implemented through the county government to strengthen the climate resilience and support a climate adaptation project. The Nyandarua County Climate Change Fund facilitate the implementation on the climate change program, including community climate resilience, investment, and institutional strengthening. The Auditor General conducted the audit of the fund financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2025 to determine whether the financial statement present fairly the financial position of the fund and whether the funds were utilized in accordance with the applicable rules and regulation. The Auditor General report raised several audit queries on relating to the financial management, budgetary control, and compliance with the expenditures regulation. Mr. Speaker, summary key audit query management response and finding. Query, reconcile receivable balance variance. The statement of financial position reflected receivable of, that is 10,257,840 shillings, which differed from the corresponding payable from the county revenue fund account, resulting in variance of, that's 9,275,839 shillings. Management responses. Management explained that variance arose because the funds were received after the end of the financial year, but related to the previous financial year. The discrepancy was caused by accounting error where the funds were captured twice in CRF statement. Committee finding. The committee observed that the variance resulted from timing difference in recording of transaction between the climate change fund account and county revenues fund account. Committee recommendation. The county treasury should strengthen the reconciliation process to ensure that financial records are properly reconciled in timely manner to avoid similar in future. Mr. Speaker, query to budgetary control and performance. His statement of comparison of budget and actual amount reflect the receipt of 357,123,385 against actual receipt of 186,537,952 shillings, resulting of underfunding of 170,585,433. Further review, they indicate that fund incurred expenditure amounting to, that is 60,390,109 shillings against actual receipt of 186,537,952 shillings, indicating significant underutilization of the fund available during the financial year. Management response. Management attributed to underutilization of fund of excessive rainfall, which led project sites inaccessible and consequently delayed implementation of planned activities. Committee finding. The committee found the explanation of the management to be insufficient to justify the magnitude of the underutilization. The committee observed that that there was a significant disconnect between the climate change implementation unit, that is CCIU, and the climate change steering committee, which adversely affected the project planning, approval, and implementation. The committee further established that projects were implemented without formal framework. The committee further established that the projects were implemented without formal approval by the Climate Change Steering Committee, contrary to the governance framework provided under the Climate Change Act of the applicable county climate change fund regulation, which require the project financed through the climate change fund be reviewed and approved by the steering committee prior to the implementation. Additionally, the committee observed that delay in procurement process and project handover procedures significantly contribute to the raw absorption of the fund. The committee noted that whether the condition may affect the project implementation, sound project planning, procurement, and scheduling and risk management mechanism should mitigate such possible implementation risk. Further, the committee noted that failure to utilize the appropriate fund undermine the principles of insufficient, effective, and economical use of public resources and provided under the Section 68 of Public Finance Management Act and budget implementation responsibilities of accounting officers under the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation. Further, Mr. Speaker, the committee's recommendation. The accounting officer and accounting procurement unit should ensure strict compliance with the procurement planning requirement under the Public Finance Management County Government regulation of the public and procurement and asset disposal act by preparing comprehensive procurement before the commencement of every financial year no later than 1st September to facilitate timely implementation of project. 2. The department should strengthen the coordination between the Climate Change Implementation Unit and Climate Change Steering Committee to ensure that all the projects financed through the Climate Change Fund will receive formal approval before implementation. 3. According to the officer, should press improve project planning, risk management, and implementation monitoring mechanism to ensure timely execution of program and optimal utilization of allocated resources in line with the principle of public financial management provided under the Finance Management Act. Still, Mr. Speaker, we have the committee's finding. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that public resources must be utilized prudently and only where necessary. Thank you, Kiongozi Bwana. Committee recommendation. The department should ensure strict adherence to the public finance management regulation on incurring expenditures, workshop, and meeting. Iko sawa. Mr. Speaker, let me come back to the committee's finding, Mr. Speaker. The committee noted that public resources must be utilized prudently and only where necessary. The committee recommendation, the department should ensure strict adherence to the public finance management regulation when incurring expenditures on workshop and meeting. Query number 5. Excess expenditures on administration cost. The auditor established that the fund incurred administrative expenditure amounting to, that is 16,502,183 shillings, representing 27% of the total expenditures of the fund during the period under review. The level administrative spending exceeded the statutory ceiling of 4% provided under the County Climate Change Fund regulation, which restricts the proportion of the resources that may be utilized administrative purposes. Specifically, Regulation 21, the County Climate Change Fund regulation provided that administrative costs of fund shall not exceed 4% of the total value of the fund in any financial year. On this basis of this provision, Auditor General concluded that 14,057,415 shillings was incurred in excess of the allowable administrative expenditures limit. We come now to the management's response. Mr. Speaker, management explained that the part of expenditure related to the climate change institutional support grant, which was implemented through the approved work plan, management further stated that these expenditure were not strictly administrative in nature and therefore should not have been subjected to the 4% administrative cap. Mr. Speaker, we still have the committee finding. The committee considered the audit finding and response by management and made the following observation. All monies received into the County Climate Change Fund constitute public fund and must be administered strictly in accordance with the governing legal framework, including the Climate Change Fund regulation. 2. The committee noted the explanation by the department, but observed that in future, all the administrative expenditure should be classified as such. Committee recommendation, Mr. Speaker, the department shall ensure that A. Administrative expenditure strictly comply with the 4% ceiling prescribed under the Regulation 21, Cap 4. And adequate internal control oversight mechanism instituted to prevent recurrence of such audit query. Mr. Speaker, we are now in conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the committee concluded that while climate change fund is an important mechanism for the promoting climate resilience and environmental sustainability within the county, there are several financial management weaknesses that require attention. The committee therefore urges the department responsible for the fund to strengthen the financial control, improve project implementation mechanism, and ensure strict compliance with the public finance management and regulation. The committee further recommended that the county treasury and relevant department work closely to ensure timely disbursement, proper accounting, and effective utilization of funds allocated under the FROCA program. Mr. Speaker, the committee now submit this report to the House for the consideration and adoption. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask Mheshimiwa Gishoki to second.
Honorable Mwangi Gishoki, Minority Leader and Member for Engineer.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
The motion is duly moved and seconded. I propose the motion. I propose the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 236, that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee, on the report of the Office of the Auditor General, on the Nyandarua Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House, and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House. Honorable Gashomba.
Maybe, thank you, Honorable Speaker. And also I want to appreciate the Committee on County Special Fund Account and investments on the report of the Office of the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, there are some issues that has been raised by the committee on the expenditures of the funds that were given out by the County Treasury. That, Mr. Speaker, the County Treasury should strengthen also the process in terms of the reporting to avoid double, Mr. Speaker, documentation of that. And the management that some funds are underutilization, which it's a clear indication, Mr. Speaker, that when funds are being appropriated to any department and there is low absorption in terms of the funding, Mr. Speaker, you see the projects that were approved by the Committee on Climate Change. Mr. Speaker, the steering committee that is mandated to approve the same project, we are still under considered, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, they need to work together, both teams, so that they can be able, Mr. Speaker, to understand where, Mr. Speaker, we are heading to in terms of the applicable acts that are there. And also, Mr. Speaker, regulations that are there within the county government, we are not also followed. Mr. Speaker, we wonder why such a big, huge projects that are funded under climate change through FROCA cannot be able, Mr. Speaker, to absorb the funds that are there in collaboration with the county treasury and other departments that are there. So, Mr. Speaker, and also the delay, they have alluded on the delay in terms of absorption because of procurement processes. Mr. Speaker, we are urging, when the funds are being appropriated, let the procurement process undertake effect immediately so that we can be able to have absorption in terms of where we are heading, so that we can be able, Mr. Speaker, to appropriate fund. Mr. Speaker, you have seen also allowances that had been appropriated by the same department. The domestic and subsistence allowances amounting to Kenya shilling 981,198 were incurred for meetings held outside the county. Whereas, Mr. Speaker, they had other convenient places within the county. Well, Mr. Speaker, they have reduced the recurrent for other purposes. So, Mr. Speaker, there's another response that has been given out by the committee. Another activities that are there, Mr. Speaker, although they worked beyond their normal hours, Mr. Speaker, that one we can't dispute that they should be given some more allowances so that they can be able to move in terms with the framework, the scope of the work. Mr. Speaker, the PFMO Act actually gives clear indication on the prudence of public resources. It is quite clear that the PFMO Act was not followed. This is clear. This is an offense, Mr. Speaker, that the committee should spearhead and make sure that the resources that are given out to projects, not only climate or FLOCA or any other county project that has been funded, can we, Mr. Speaker, be more prudent in terms of funds when we are applying in all those departments? Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I beg Mr. Speaker to caution on that.
Honourable Stephen Mureithi Matimo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to really thank the committee. I believe they've worked around the clock to bring this report, and we're grateful that with the timelines that we gave them, they've managed to deliver. Mr. Speaker, from the report, there are a few things that I've observed, and one is poor planning in the department, and especially on these FLOCA funds. The Englishman once said that failure to plan is planning to fail. And Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons why we have low absorption in these particular funds is because the department, I don't know whether it's deliberately or willingly, they delay procuring items under FLOCA. That's why you find, Mr. Speaker, we have very low absorption in this in monies under this fund called FLOCA, Mr. Speaker. One, I really blame the accounting officer in this department and also the procurement team, because they are really failing. We have other projects in the same department that are procured, but I don't know why when it comes to projects under FLOCA, there's a deliberate delay, there are deliberate increment of items that are or requirements. Mr. Speaker, I happened to have visited the team when they were asking some of the most important questions as to why there's a delay in this. And one of the things that came up, for example, when drilling a borehole, you'll find that under the normal program under the county, they do boreholes. But when it comes to FLOCA, they increase the requirements to drill the same borehole in the same county, and that's one of the reasons why you find that there's a deliberate delay in absorption of this money. Mr. Speaker, one thing that I believe, you've seen that they've consumed more on administration monies, and one of the purposes as to why they are given this money is to ensure that they are able to deliver on the development part. But it's so unfortunate that as we talk, or from the report, they consumed the entire amount, having not delivered on the project money. So I think one of the recommendations from the committee could have been to ensure that the monies that is under the administration cost, they ensure that this money is used to deliver the project part of it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during at the end of the conclusion, the committee has mentioned something very important, that we have some weaknesses in the finance management. I could have requested the committee, as they bring the report, they could have ironed out which are these weaknesses that they've seen. So that, Mr. Speaker, when we come to the next financial year, we shall not have the department repeating the same mistake. Because one thing that we realized is that some of the things that we are doing as a county, or some of the mistakes that the auditor is finding out, is recurring problems. But all in all, Mr. Speaker, I really want to recommend the committee for the good report, and I believe that the department, and especially under FLOCA, they will follow the recommendation from this committee and ensure that, Mr. Speaker, some of the questions that, or some of the things that the Auditor General raised from the department will not reoccur. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Joyce Munywa, and then we go to Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think from the onset, I wish to support the motion and appreciate the committee for having worked around the clock to ensure that the report is submitted within the statutory requirements. Mr. Speaker, there is only one thing that has caught my attention, and it's especially on the query 5 on the excess expenditure, where it actually indicates that the total expenditure was 27%, and what the statutory ceiling is 4%. And when you check even the management response, it really doesn't seem to be really responding to that, when it indicates that some of those expenditures should not have been indicated as administrative. And for me, even what is more worrying is the recommendations that have been given by the committee seems to be giving them a bit of soft landing, because even by the time the expenditures were indicated as 27%, they already knew about the statutory recommendations about 4%. So I would really maybe have expected to know what happens in the event when administrative costs is incurred more than the statutory recommendations, so that in future we don't continue giving some of these recommendations that just seems to be like massaging some of the costs that are happening in the department. We need to be able to stop some of these things, because we are, in one way, we are talking about less absorption, and then on the other side, when it comes to expenditures, we are talking about even more than 4 times the recommended seedings. So I think that's something that really needed to have been handled so that it doesn't recur. But I do support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader and member for Kaibaga.
Thank you.
Honorable Mwangi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate the kind of work that was done by the committee. They have totally made some critical observation on what transpires within the FROCA funding. And Honorable Speaker, I want to pinpoint one of the key areas that is totally bringing a lot of problem to the operationalization of the FROCA fund. Honorable Speaker, you know very well, when you plan with very specific dates to do a certain kind of work. And Honorable Speaker, we have observed, because I'm one of the beneficiaries from the FROCA funding within Kaibaga Ward, and I can tell you that there is a big issue in disbursement of the said fund from the National Assembly. There is delay in disbursement or transfer of funds to special purpose account within the county, and this is one of the critical issues, the areas that is totally bringing a lot of confusion in implementation of the said fund. I think if the national government can remove the bottlenecks in operationalization of the said fund, things will be moving quite well. Honorable Speaker, indeed, I want to agree with the committee that we need to have more engagement with the community. You know the Froka Fund, Honorable Speaker. There is certain units which have been set through the policy. There is climate change implementation committee and climate change steering committee. These are critical units in running this fund. And I think, as from the observation from the committee, they need to put seriousness and a lot of engagement with the said committees, so that the kind of antagonism and push and pull which comes with the making decision on what should be implemented within the areas should not bring delays when critical decision is being undertaken. Honorable Speaker, my sister, Honorable Joyce, have touched a very pertinent issue, which is a critical observation from the committee. Indeed, it's absurd when there is a discrepancy and a difference of 14 million, which ought not to have spent. Indeed, as the committee have observed, they need to, the executive, the implementation managers, the implementation unit should make sure that they follow strictly the guidance from the way this fund is supposed to be run. We cannot, the executive cannot justify the use of excess of 12 million, which was not planned for. So in future, as observed and as guided by the committee, they should be strict in following guidance as per the financial guidance from financial guidance from the framework. So I'm happy with the kind of work that was done, and I'm looking forward to see that some of these recommendations which have been put forth are followed to the letter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I totally support.
Honorable Mohende, specially elected member from Magumu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As a member of this committee, I rise to oppose this report in its entirety. Mr. Speaker, I also even don't know which report is this, because this is not the committee report. These are not the recommendations of the committee. This is not what we sat as a committee. So whatever happened between yesterday and today, as a member of the committee, I can authoritatively state this is not a report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, and it is very unfortunate, that is why you are seeing all members of this committee running away. Nobody wants to own this report. I won't run away, I'll stand here and say this is not ours. Because you cannot eat people's money and then we come here and start saying that we support. We support. What are we supporting when you have stolen so much money? Mr. Speaker, for example, when the majority leader has spoken about the 14 million, this is the recommendation of the committee, that that money, according to the PFMA regulations, should be recovered from the individuals who authorized that money. That is the recommendation of the committee. Mr. Speaker, the CEC and the managers of the fund, they went ahead and provided an approved regulations to the Auditor General. They lied to the Auditor General that this fund had regulations that were approved by this assembly. That is why they received approval for use of the funding. What is the recommendation of the committee? Because there is nothing else we can do. As the committee, we said we are forwarding this matter to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. That was what the committee said. Because one, they failed to submit the regulations to this House. They failed to submit the regulations to the Auditor General because they are not regulations. And number two, for mishandling information. Mr. Speaker, another thing. The committee makes the following findings. The fund manager and the chairperson who signed and submitted the financial statements did so without evidence of approval by the steering committee, which is the legally mandated oversight body of the fund. By submitting the financial statements without the required approval, the responsible officer circumvented the governance structure established under the Climate Change Act and the fund regulations. The committee finds that this action exposed the county government to risks of misrepresentation and weakened institutional accountability in the management of climate finance. Mr. Speaker, so I am really lost. And I wish the other members, I can only see we are 3. I wish the other members were here so that they would tell us where was this report written? Which is this report? Even my chairman, I'm now wondering, is he the chairman of another PICPAC report committee or the one that we go together with him? Because the one that we went together with him, the one that we even sat yesterday, we spent the whole day here. Mr. Speaker, you are there. This is not what we discussed. So unless there is another PICPAC committee that sat somewhere else, this is not what we discussed.
Maybe, Mr. Speaker, it is very sad.
Order. You request for... you contributed, Honorable
On that, Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Gashomba, you
it was a long information that was put in
have
this House.
already...
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Unless there is information you are giving
Yes,
to
an
the
information,
House.
Mr. Speaker, and it is very sad. If this Honourable House can be given a report from a committee, members contribute the report, and the members of the committee come over and deny the report, Mr. Speaker, it is quite sad. I want you to give us the guideline on the way forward, because we cannot be taken for granted by a committee and other officials from the county government. Mr. Speaker, I had actually contributed, and I had read some of these issues, that the disconnect between the committee...
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, please let me finish. That the disconnect between the steering committee and the committee that manages the funds, Mr. Speaker, I had actually contributed, knowing very well. I wanted to make some
What is
input.
the information you are giving?
It is that we are
Honorable
discussing
Gashomba?
an illegal document, and it's very sad as an assembly.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Juliana Babu, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am the Vice Chair to the committee, and I want to guarantee the House that this document is not foreign, that this document has indeed been deliberated in a subcommittee that was set by the committee. And if by any chance there are members that have not come across this document as members of the PICPAC committee may have been absent or maybe not members of the sub-county.
Point of order.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to
Mr.
proceed.
Speaker, point of order.
What is it, Honorable Wajiko Kabiru?
Mr. Speaker, it is very alarming that people of the same committee come here and give different reports. Now we are lost, we are confused, we do not know who to believe and who not to believe.
Mr.
Honorable
Speaker,
Mohende said they were here yesterday. I am hoping people did not come here overnight when Mohende was away to bring a report that is not known to the committee. We want directions from your seat, Mr. Speaker. Please give us a way forward, because it is going to be...
point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Let members contribute, and then the chair will respond. The chair of the committee is in the House. Proceed, Honorable Babu Juliana.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the House that we also received submissions in every queries that we made. And it is true that we found issues relating to monies that were spent and the PFM regulations were not fully adhered to. We received explanations from the executive, The committee was not fully satisfied, but for the purposes of report, we prepared a report, and you can clearly read our recommendations that really we don't support monies that have been misappropriated. And further, Mr. Speaker, the committee also agreed that we will proceed to
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
That we will proceed
Let
to
the
visit.
member contribute. What is it, Honorable Matimu?
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House is not quoried.
Clerk, confirm that we have the requisite quorum to proceed with the business of the day.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the House is not quoried.
There being no quorum to proceed with the business of the day, pursuant to standing order pursuant to standing order 37(3), that pursuant to standing order 36, the quorum bell be rung for an initial 8 minutes.
Doing our best. 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 Doing our best.
Honorable members, there being no quorum to proceed with the business of the day, before I adjourn the House, I give the directions that the remaining business be slotted in the supplementary order paper for the afternoon sitting. I further direct that the Public Accounts and Investment Committee does put their House in order before the afternoon sitting. I now adjourn the House to 10th day of March 2026 at 2:30 p.m.